What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and welcome to the Inkie June Marathon for 2023. So if you haven't been around for one of these before, the Inkie June Marathon is where I do a video every freaking day in the month of June. I don't know why originally I picked the month of June. Maybe it's because it's the middle month and a lot of people tend to do daily things in December. And June just felt like a random month that honestly needed a bit of perking up because it's the first day of winter here in Australia and the temperatures are changing, and I feel like when the weather gets colder it makes me want to do more crafting, that's for sure. So today we're jumping in on the main channel, the Inkie Quill, and I have these photos of Arch where he fell asleep at the very end of our IKEA adventure. And the first thing I'm doing is going through this little paper pad from Pink Fresh Studio and I'm trying to figure out what background paper to use. I ended up going with this one because, you know, when you're in IKEA and there's the arrows on the floor and there's always someone that goes the opposite way. If you've never been to an IKEA store, it's like a one-way shop. It's not a normal department store. There is a set way to move around the store, and you kind of feel like little rats in a maze sometimes. And so I thought this paper was quite appropriate with all of the arrows. It's not. I was possibly thinking of going with something blue or yellow to echo the IKEA colour scheme, and I bring that in with the embellishments, which you'll see in a little moment here. Are these the same photo? Yes, they definitely are. And the reason why I had both of them is that I didn't know which size I wanted to scrap, and I knew that I could always pop the other one in a junk journal or a traveller's notebook. I'm getting close to filling up my next traveller's notebook insert. I've only got 2 pages to go, so make sure that you've got your notifications on for my Let's Get Inkie channel because there'll be a video tomorrow. And I'm looking to finish my traveller's notebook this month and doing a flip through probably towards the end of the month. But I knew that I could use the photo somehow, and I ended up using both of them. And this is something you might think it's a bit pointless. They're the same photo, but I feel like it's a really nice little, visual doubling up thing. It's just something I like to do. I do it quite a bit. And yeah, I just like the way that it looks. So I've matted my photo in some white cardstock and some spotty tissue paper, and then I've grabbed this looks like a blue printable from my Patreon from many moons ago, and I'm just tearing off a bit of the edge there. So this is just a mixed media piece that I've then scanned and printed off, so it hasn't got the bumps of the acrylic paint that it originally had before it was printed, which is very handy. So then I needed to bring in some of the yellow, and yes, I'm fighting with my ATG. What's new? It's we have a love-hate relationship. It's more love than hate, but some days it just hates me. But it is, honestly, if you do a lot of crafting and you don't have one, look at getting one because it is so handy, and you feel really, I don't know, I feel like a crafty superwoman when I use it, and I can be like, wow, and just tape everything, and I don't know, I just really enjoy using it. This is some old paper from a crepe paper collection, so it's nice to use up some older papers in my stash. And so today I wanted to have a little bit of a chat about colour coding with your scrapbook pages. And these are some little tags that I made in a DIY embellishment video on Patreon, and I scanned them in to use as printables, but I still had the originals to use as well, which I often forget about using. So I'm just putting that down to bring in some of the yellow from the IKEA logo, which is the royal blue and yellow. And let's chat colour coding, because I definitely fall into a habit of using my favourite colours for everything. But I would like to know if when you're scrapping something that has a set colour theme, or colour scheme, I should say. Say, for example, photos from a football match, or I don't know, school photos where there's a school uniform that has set colours, or your school has a certain mascot that has different colours with it. Do you enjoy scrapping using those colours? So not everyday photos, but photos that have a specific colour. Or Christmas. Do you only scrap Christmas photos in red and green? St. Patrick's Day, Halloween's another one. Black and orange is a very, colour palette that's synonymous with the spooky October 31st. Do you enjoy scrapping blocked into a colour family like that, or do you prefer to break the rules and go against it and do whatever colour you feel like? I usually break the rules, but today I just was feeling very blue and yellow. There's something about IKEA that just calls to you, and you become one of the IKEAs, and it just, I don't know, if there was an IKEA community. I am definitely part of some sort of IKEA Facebook group. I can guarantee somewhere in the depths of my Facebook I've joined some sort of group. But yeah, I love it. It's very lucky that it's 2 hours away, because otherwise it'd be trouble. So I started here with doing my title. I'm using some older thickers that I'm not a huge fan of the colour of them. And to make them stand out, I wanted to put a bit of white gesso down, and so I then changed it to a light blue just to make it a bit more interesting. Now here I am actually using the leftover paint in my Jamie journal. This is Jamie Journal 2.0, which is an art journal. It's a cookbook that I've altered to an art journal. All of the process videos are over on Patreon, and I've just finished it, and we're flipping through it this month, and I can't freaking wait. Actually, this is one of the final pages that I do, this dinosaur one. And yeah, so I like to use the leftover paint in my art journals, but I am also adding more paint to it so that I can do a bit of a double coat, just because I wanted to cover up this recipe, because it had a lot of things in it that it didn't really suit my art journal aesthetic. A lot of the pages I do let peek through, and I have used like this dinosaur page stays like that, but a lot of them I do cover it up. So if that's something that you're interested in, I have 6 years worth of art journaling videos over on Patreon. But that journal is coming to an end. The final process video for that will be coming out this month. So I'm sticking down these alphas, and I'm extra adhering them, Adele. Oh, sometimes the words just don't work out of my brain. But I'm double adhering them because I did not trust the adhesive on these old thickers at all. And so I've stuck them there, and I originally thought I was going to use them as is. They're a fake... Oh, my oven just dinged. I don't know if you could hear that. But they are a wood grain thicker, alphabet sticker, and it kind of fits. IKEA sells a lot of furniture with laminate wood grain type prints in it, but I do end up doing something to them in a moment, which you'll see. And going through, this was just after I got some new Ali Edwards supplies, and so a lot of them were about road trips and holidays and destinations, and of course the furthest that we kind of go is IKEA. It's in Sydney. 2 hours drive with children is 2 hours long enough, especially when they have car sickness as bad as poor Arch does. And so it kind of worked out because it was technically a road trip to get there. So I'm working in a bit of a diagonal, and this is I think it's a 9x12 layout, or an 8.5x11. I can't really tell. But once you add the two photos on, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for embellishment clusters. And usually I like to keep my clusters in a triangle in a group of 3, which I guess I've kind of done a very narrow triangle here with the little sunshine, if you call that one of the points. But I am working more with a diagonal with this one. Using my Posca paint pens to colour over the top of my letters, and the dark blue worked really well because it's dark and it was able to cover the wood grain really easily. The yellow was a little bit tougher, and so I did do 2 coats, I'm pretty sure, of the yellow. It also didn't help that the only yellow Posca paint pen that I had was a very thin tipped one, which made it a bit harder to do. So you can see I'm pressing it down every now and then just to get a bit more of the paint to come out. But I love it. I love altering alphas with Posca paint pens. They're so handy to really completely change the way a page looks. And I think by having the IKEA in the yellow, it really makes it pop. And then I always like to have things in a hit of 3. So you've got the IKEA title, the yellow, then you've got the yellow in the tags, and then there's a little bit of the yellow in the asterisk embellishments that are around the place. And then I think I add a bit more here, possibly, maybe not, possibly. But yeah, just adding a few little embellishments down here. But I hope you're ready for the Inkie June Marathon. Oh, I have to tell you about the scrap stream. So we're having a scrap stream. I'll do an announcement on Instagram today for those who haven't watched the video. But now let me get this right. Hang on, let me check my calendar so I don't tell you all the wrong day and then have to tell 1,000 of you that I had the day wrong. Okay, so it's the 11th of June, so it's only a week and a half away. It's not very long away. The 11th of June, and it will start at 6:30 a.m. Now, are we in? Let me just see what time zone I'm currently in. I think I'm in AEST, yes. So it will be the 11th of June at 6:30 a.m. AEST, Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Sydney. If you're searching by location, just search for Sydney. And we're going to do a live stream. So let me know in the comments what you'd like to see on it. I'll probably go for about 5 or so hours. The kids won't be home, so I'll be able to get some good distraction-free creating in. But let me know in the comments specifically if there's anything you'd like to see. If you've got any grab 5 ideas, I can let you know the challenge beforehand that way. If you'd like to see, what do you want me to start with? Do you want me to start with scrapping or project life or journals or like art journaling or traveler's notebooks or DIY embellishments or card making or something completely random like painting a canvas or who knows, whatever you can think of, let me know in the comments. I'm very excited. We haven't had stream for a little bit, and I'm very grateful for my in-laws to babysit the children for the night so that I can wake up at 6:30 a.m. and get straight into streaming instead of screaming. Not screaming, no, we don't start our days with screaming, but instead of wrangling the children, that's probably the best way to put it, and dealing with, breakfast and things for them. So I'm very much excited for it. Very much excitement is going on. But yes, let me know what you'd like to see. So there will be a video alternating every day in June. So today's Inkie Quill, tomorrow will be Let's Get Inkie. There's all sorts of things. There's craft room tours of the old craft room. There's album tours, there's process videos, scrapbooking, project life, art journaling, there's journal flip, there's traveler's notebook journaling, there's a DIY embellishment video, there's all sorts of things. So make sure that you tune in every day, or you can binge watch after a couple of days. If you've got any ideas, I haven't filmed the last week of June yet, so if you've got any suggestions or requests for videos you'd like to see, particularly like organisy, storagey type ones, if there's any particular way you'd like to see how I organize things, let me know in the comments. And I will see you all tomorrow with a whole nother video. Here's a bit of a close-up of this very blue and yellow layout. Hope you have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.